Right. Well, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing really well and finding yourself blessed in a way that lets you know who you are and whose you are. This morning, this was put on my heart a couple of days ago. Of course, I am otherwise engaged with some, matrix employment, as most of you know. And on top of that, they just changed my shift, so now I'm working at night instead of during the day. So another adjustment, which actually I really like, because then my mornings belong to me and to Father, and that's the best time for me. So at first I was a little frustrated, but as always, Father knows exactly what he's doing, and the I am within me is in agreement with that. So it's all good. Now I have my mornings, and I can get all kinds of beautiful kingdom work done. And then I'm a little draggy and a little bit exhausted, but I'd rather be that for the Matrix than for you guys and me and our whole family and mission, right? So anyways, this is something that's really important, and especially for those of you who have answered the call, you've gone through the process, you were chosen, appointed, and you answered the call, and you've been anointed, and you've been qualified, and you know you're on point, and you're doing exactly what the I am Christedness that's within you has you doing here. There's something that's really, really important that we have to remember as bearers of light, ones that are bringing this, the ones that have been appointed to be in this time doing what we are now. And the thing is it's not that Father, the Spirit, ever wants anyone not to have the truth or not to hear something. That's absolutely not even close to being accurate. But he chose you. You didn't choose him. And if you're hearing this and you're on point right now and you know what this means, he chose you. He may have reached into a deep and dark moment to fill you with something that was profound, incredible, and has, successfully turned stones for many, many people, maybe even only a few, but an important few. These people, the ones that Father has chosen for this, for us to bring everyone home. Everyone's included in this truth, but there are those that are chosen that are the bearers of light right now. So if that's you, this is really important that you hear this morning. And that is, do not stare at the sin, or as I put it, the S-K-I-N, the skin, the brokenness, the manifestation of I'm looking at notes over here just so you know, because I'm a little tired, so I don't want to forget anything. Father gives me these things in the middle of the night, so writing them down helps me. I apologize if it's distracting to you. The brokenness, the little ego mind manifestations that are in the outer, not in the inner. This is the inner, this is the kingdom right here. This is the outside, this is the inside. So we need to be very careful not to stare at what is in the outside, those little mind ego manifestations that we're seeing everywhere. It's very, very important because it's designed to, to captivate you and encapsulate you. It's designed to draw your attention. Now, I understand that we do need to see it. We need to have it, presented to us, and we need to keep our ears and eyes open, be gentle as a dove and as sly as a snake, like a specific brother of ours just shared yesterday or the day before. Was it the day before? It might have been. Once again, working, don't know. But anyways, So these are the things we need to do. We need to be aware of them. But it's super easy and and I'm telling you right now, this is coming from a place where I've stumbled here too. I've been in this place, and it's easy to do. You get carried away with it. And then the next thing you know, you're on a track that's serving the little ego mind manifestation, the miscreated brokenness in this outer kingdom that's being built by many, many creators, both benevolent and non-benevolent. And that is something that's the slyest, most subtlest, quietest thing that the duality is trying to do right now, and has some of you trapped in that very place. Let's see here. You want to spend most of your time in the inner, in meditation, in that place where you're with your own kingdom, with Father, connecting to the I am that you are, the Christedness that you are. That's where you want to spend most of your time. We have to spend some time focusing on the linear. But your focus, your permanent focus, your large portion of your focus should be in here. Most of your God force and your essence needs to be spent on the kingdom with Father, Mother, God, with your Christedness, your connection to them. Okay, this outside thing, it can and it will consume you. It will, if that's what you focus on, because it will take you away from the truth. It's a beautiful illusion. You have to hand it to, you know, the duality for creating it. It's quite eloquent and it's quite effective. It says, then you will begin to become an effect in the progress of it. This duality is very cunning. We must redirect and honor the power of all creations, love and respect them. That's something that you have to understand. These are all creations as your creations and mine, and in sovereignty and the trueness of our Christedness and our I am presence, we have to honor these other creations. You can't just, you know, wish them away or, you know, poof, they're gone. We can't do that either. So there's this balance here, and this video is mostly just to make sure that you understand. Look for information's sake at what's happening in the outer around you. But remember to not look for very long. And you know, it's funny, when I was coming up with this, a couple of things came to mind. The pillar of salt in Sodom and Gomorrah, they looked back and then they were frozen into something that was not useful anymore. Frozen, they couldn't move. They were stuck. That meant they stayed in that little ego mind creation. And see, that's the plan here. And I know there was another reference. It was a movie reference. It was very poignant about, oh, it was just the character, you know, the character Medusa, and how her particular cursedness was that if anyone stared upon her, they would turn to stone. And she kind of, in some of the movies, and I'm not saying this is her only depiction, because she actually depicts some other things that are quite beautiful. But in this depiction, she was representing, looking at all of the distractions of all the snakes on her head, and the fact that she was in, you know, in that one character role, she was the little ego mind manifestation. And if you looked at her, you were frozen. And that's kind of what happens when we kind of get lulled, we get hypnotized by the outer. So, you know, I know that you've been appointed. And you may have been appointed something very big, very heavy. It could have even appeared to be very, very dark. And you saw things that were troubling, because some of the things that are being created and manifested have that illusionary appearance of being troubled. I feel you. I know. I've been in that place. And it's a hard place to stay clear of. But the way we stay clear of it is to remember. First of all, Father chose you. You didn't choose him. That's a big importance. If we don't get that turned around, everything else is good. Another thing is that ultimately, we are all innocent. We are all love. There's nothing here that can truly harm us. There isn't. It's proposed. It's illusionary in its proposal. Physically and a reality in this dimension, yeah. It's real. You can hear that, right? You can feel the wall. But it's the illusion that's being proposed that it means anything in the ethereal truth of things. It doesn't. That's why you have to keep your focus in here. This is where all the ethereal truth is, because it will constantly remind you. And there are tons of benevolence, angels, beings of all manner of creation and making that are filled with the light, that are exterior to this matrix. And they're here in spirit, in powerful form to assist us. All you have to do is reach in and say, help me refocus. Holy Spirit, I commit this thought or this thing that I've been focusing on to you for correction. I forgive myself, I forgive all on the way, and I move forward. That's all you have to do. So if you find that some of the aspects of the matrix around you are falling apart, if you find that there's things that you love and care for, and circumstances that you've desired from the beginning because of what Father's put on your heart, falling apart around you and coming to places that are not of Father, they do not look like Father, they are not the, what's the word I'm looking for? The aspects of Father, go within. Pull away from the staring of what's going on in this little ego mind manifestation and go back into the truth. And the truth is that you are the I am, because Father says you are the I am. He is in you, you are in him, I am in you, and you are in me. And if you've seen me, you've seen my Father. You have to think about that statement. That's a profound statement. We are all individuated, beautiful effects of our Creator Mother God, and we are one. We are love. We are the truth. We are the light. You have to hold that here. Hold it down like a big electric blanket over this entire circumstance. Look only at that electric blanket, only at that I am existence for lengths of time. Meditate on it. That's what that means by meditation. Intense focus the majority of the time. Keep your eyes open. Oh yes, absolutely. But do not stare at the illusion for too long, because it's made to consume you, and it will. And it isn't that serious or that horrible. It will just merely stop you for what's in your heart that you want to do, that Father's put within you. And you're a precious puzzle piece to this game, my love. So precious. Only you can do what Father's put within you to do. None of his children ever fail. Now, I know there's been some messages out there that say that you can fail. Now, if you get removed from a circumstance for a moment and someone else steps forward, that's not a failure. That's to give you rest. That's to give you a moment to get detached from what's going on out there so that you can pick the baton back up, and then this brother or sister will need a rest. And we're going to keep doing this. There is no failure. I put a little message on Discord about rest. That is another thing that we need to learn to do, is to rest in the midst of the battle. The chaos, the bombs going on overhead. You're in the foxhole and be in complete and perfect peace. It's something we need to learn, just like the battling and the understanding of walking through the pain and perfect acceptance of it. So, keep your main focus on the inner. Do not let the outer affect the inner, ever. It has no consequence on the inner, but the inner has every consequence on the outer. Bring this in there. As above, so below. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that it encourages you today. It's sure as heck encouraged me to remember to do that. And then once you do, if your walkings, your daily effects on this matrix are not full of the fruits of the Spirit and the description of love, and if you don't know what those are, go inside and ask. You'll be shown. But if they're not filled with those things and people are not softening around you, they may get riled up at first, but they'll soften around you because you will be bringing all of those darknesses within to the light. If that's not occurring, if other things are occurring that are just kind of tearing your mission down, take your focus off of the outer for however long you need to and get in here and stay in here until you feel strong enough to come out and go back. That's the as above, so below. That's what we're bringing here. All right. That's all I have to share today. I love you so much, and I'm so grateful for each one of you. Sometimes Father visits me with your faces and your essence, and it's such a blessing to me because the connections that we all have and the understanding of how truly connected we are. There is no separateness here. This is the biggest thing we need to remember. Remember when you're looking at your brother and sister next time and all that you're seeing is the effects of the outer in them. Remember that there's no separateness. We are not separated in any way, shape, or form. We're individuated effects that all work together. But we are one. One breath, one life, one Father, one creation. And I love you all so much. You have a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll send everything and continue to do so that Father puts in my sacred heart back out to you in as many folds as I can put in it. I always say tenfold, but as many as I can fit in. Have a wonderful day, and namaste.